Good evening. I am Anali Chakraborty. Welcome to our today's session on behalf of Modok Trainer Academy. Today's topic of discussion is Unfettered Exploitation of Sunderban Mangrove Forest. The eminent speaker of this topic is Dr. Nityananda Ghosh. He taught in various renowned schools and colleges. His research project title was Pesticidal effects on biochemical defense system of rice plants in relation to silt blight control mechanism. Now, I request to Dr. Nityananda Ghosh, please start your deliberation.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations and welcome to all of you who hear me. Uh, Today, I must uh, so offer my gratitude to Modok Trainer Academy for offering me a chance or opportunity to deliver lecture on Sunderban mangroves of India. It is a vast subject, but I shall definitely uh, I will limit my lecture on my subject, and the subject already been announced by the announcer, that unfettered exploitation of Sundarban mangroves. Of course, I will deliver lecture on Indian mangroves only, Sundarbans of Indian Sundarbans only. Uh, if you see that Sundarban was reclaimed and cleared uh, 3 centuries ago, and if you see that since 1761, there is no habitation, there is no trace of human being at Sundarbans. But after the great battle of Palashi, 1757, uh, then Mirzapur uh, was made Nawab after Sirajdollah, and the Sirajdollah, Nawab Sirajdollah, actually transferred the Sundarban lands to the East India Company. And after that, the English people started there uh, clearing and reclaiming the lands to make habitation. And naturally, uh, there are so many researches nowadays, both Bangladesh and Indian part of Sundarbans, and the researchers of both the part and doing tremendous work regarding these Sundarbans mangroves. And I will first make you understand, make you know about certain things. That is, what is Sundarban, what is the definition of mangrove, and what is the area coverage, where it is found, that is the location. Then more about mangroves, mangroves world distribution, India's mangrove area, Sundarbans mangrove of India, river system, flora and fauna, unfettered exploitation, and ecosystems, modern management. So, first of all, you should know how the mangrove, the word comes, and where from the mangrove words comes. Uh, for this term, mangrove has been derived from a Portuguese mangrove, which means the uh, luxuriant growth of some mangrove trees, and grove is from English word. It is for mangrove trees. And then you see that in Oxford Dictionary in the year 1613, the mangroves is mentioned, uh, has been mentioned, and indicates the tropical trees or shrubs found in the coast that grow above the ground level, swamp with tangled roots. So this is about the Oxford Dictionary's definition, and then other definitions too. The tropical estuarine system enriched with biodiversity, particularly in the intertidal forested vegetation known as mangrove. In other words, mangroves are the threatened intertidal halophytic plants. So question may comes, what are halophytes? Halophytes are the plants which grow and thrive in the soils where inorganic salts like NaCl, MgCl2, and MgSO4 are rich or present. Then you may ask me, or anybody can ask, what is Sundarbans? There are many schools of thought on the definition of Sundarban. The most popular one is uh, derived from a tree, Sundari. In scientific name of the Sundari is Heritiera fomis, and it is a tree, and from the Sundari tree, the forest has been named as Sundarbans, and it is originated naturally from Sundari tree. And if you see the other definition, then you can say that forest of this region is frequently decorated with trees for which it has been named as Sundarbans. A few experts are of opinion that due to tidal translation and regression on the seashore or on the bank of the rivers, islands created and then the vegetation grown are known as Sundarbans. So we have clear idea about the mangroves and the Sundarbans. Now, what is the area of mangrove covers? It is about 240 into 10 cube square kilometer as per Lugo et al. 1990 and Huile et al. 1992. Now, question may come, where it is found? This mangrove is found in river deltas, lagoons, and estuarine complexes as per Thom 1982. This vegetation also colonizes shorelines and islands in sheltered coastal area with locally variable topography and hydrology, leading relatively specific structure and function. This has been defined by Lugo and Snedeker 1974. Now we should know more about some mangroves. And mangroves actually are the special group of plants or the ecosystem in the intertidal coastal areas, edges of islands, and major estuarine mouths. This ecosystem is an interface between terrestrial forest and aquatic, of course, marine habitats such as mangrove dominated forests, litter laden forest floors, mud flats, adjacent coral reefs. As you see, these coral reefs in Andaman and Nicobar Islands and contiguous water courses like rivers, bays, intertidal creeks, channels, and backwaters. The frequently tide inundated forests on coastal areas, wetlands, and intertidal zones of shelter bay or shorelines, estuary mouths, sides of tidal creek, backwater, lagoon, marshes, and mud flats of the tropical and subtropical regions of the globe are the major mangrove habitats or zones. These ecosystems form an important ecological asset and economic resources of the coastal marine environment. Mangrove ecosystem are one of the important formations of natural wetlands found in the intertidal zone of tropical and subtropical regions of the world. Tomlinson, the great scientist in this field, in 1986, Duque, 1992, Reclus, and Latham, 1993, they have defined in this way. There's, they means the mangroves are self-generating, self-maintaining littoral plant formation, often contributing dynamic ecosystem inhabited by a complex assemblage of flora and fauna. Now we shall discuss a few words about mangroves world distribution. Mangroves are nature's own choice. You can say that it is the nature gifted forest. No, I'm not saying it's God gifted. It's nature gifted forest. And naturally, they are spread over or grow in the intertidal, shielded up deltaic regions, estuarine mouths, sheltered shallow coasts, edges of the islands, and saline mud flats in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world, which I've already mentioned. The major mangroves and the mangrove regions are distributed in the old world tropics, that is, Indo-West Pacific regions. This region, that is the Southeast Asia, that is India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Philippines, and Antarctica. Sorry, Australia. While few completely different species of mangroves and the mangroves areas are also present in the New World tropics, which include Madagascar, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Sri Lanka, New Zealand, and Australia. Before discussing Indian Sundarbans, we must mention the mangrove areas of India which Government of India has published in the year 1987. Now total mangrove areas of India as per GOI, that means Government of India, this is Sundarbans of Gangetic Delta. It is about 4,200 square kilometer. Second one, Andaman and Nicobar Islands of Bay of Bengal. It is about 1,129 square kilometer area. Third, seashores of Maharashtra like Ratnagiri, Vijaydur, Malavan, Devgot. It is about 330 square kilometer. Then Gujarat coast, Tapti, Narmada, Kambat, Kach. It is about 250 square kilometer. Then Goa coast, Mandavi, Jowari, and other river estuaries. It is about 200 square kilometer. Andhra Pradesh coast of Godavari and Krishna's deltas. It is about 200 square kilometer. Then Orissa coast, of course, there is Vitarkanika, Mahanadi delta, and Dharma. It is about 150 square kilometer. Then Tamil Nadu coast, that is Kaveri rivers delta and Pichavaram and Muthupet. It is about 150 square kilometer. Then comes Karnataka, Kundapur, and Malpe. It is about 60 square kilometer. Now Kerala coast, Cochin estuary, etc. negligible. And mangroves of Lakshadweep or and Mimikoi, Minikoi islands, it is also negligible. So we just discuss or we tell about the mangrove areas of India. Now, Sundarban mangroves of India, specifically, we are dealt with Sundarban mangroves. Indian part of Sundarbans is smaller in comparison. Sundarban's Indian part is 38 to 39%, and of Bangladesh, it is with 62 to 61% area. But it's also present complex ecological condition due to vastness in extent and innumerable ramification of riverine system resulting in formation of several big and small land masses ideal for the growth of distinct flora known as mangroves with distinct characteristics and adaptive features for surviving in a typical saline estuarine region. The Indian Sundarbans, geographically, if you see, its latitude is 21 degree 31 minute and 22 degree 30-minute north, and longitude 88 degree 10 minute and 89 degree 51 minute east, is situated within the jurisdiction of South and North 24 Parganas. 24 Parganas districts. It comprises of 104 islands, of which 54 islands were reclaimed from the later half of the 18th century in the northwestern part for facilitating human settlement. And the Indian Sundarbans, and naturally 56 islands consisting this today's mangrove. Now there are difference of opinions that whether the uh, islands are really 104 or it is lessened to 102. Nowadays, researchers are telling that islands are being obliterated or lost due to some biotic and abiotic pressures. Okay, now the Indian Sundarbans comprising naturally 19 rural blocks and 13 blocks under South 24 Parganas and 6 blocks under North 24 Parganas districts respectively, covering a total area of 9,630 square kilometer, of which 5,364 square kilometer area is inhabited by human population and the remaining 4,226 square kilometer is present in Sundarbans Mongols. As per my guide and teacher K.R. Nosko, principal scientist, uh, he is deceased now. Uh, Dr. K.R. Nosko, principal scientist of CIPRI, Central Indian Fisheries Research Institute of ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, and his teacher, his guide, uh, Dr. Ghosh. Ghosh also uh, died earlier. Anyway, mangrove swamps of Sundarbans and ecological perspective, they have written this book and from Noya Uddog, Kolkata. And about 2,585.110 square kilometer area of southeastern part of Sundarbans, Mongols. And you should ask me question that what is Mongols? Mongol is a forest also. Mongols. Mongols is also called the forest. So southeastern part of the Sundarban Mongols was declared as Sundarbans Tiger Reserve (STR), and in the year 1973, it has been declared as Tiger Reserve Forest (STR), Sundarban Tiger Reserve, and the land area of STR is 1,680 square kilometer, while rest 905 square kilometer area comprises of estuarine rivers, creeks, and canals. Government of India constituted Sundarban Biosphere Reserve (SBR) in 1989, and it received UNESCO recognition under Man and Biosphere program in November 2001. The total area of Sundarban Biosphere Reserve is divided into three zones. One is known as the core zone, second one is known as the buffer zone, and third one is known as the transitional zone. The core zone, where the tigers inhabit, that's the tiger inhabitation or the main habitation zone, is known as the core zone, where the area is of 124.09 square kilometer. Has been also preserved. This uh, tiger's main habitation zone. I have already told you that SVR zone is 1,799 square kilometer. Hmm. And of this, uh, tiger's special zone is there, that is 124.09 square kilometer, which is known as primitive zone to act as gene pool. And Sojnekhali 304 square kilometer, Lothian Island 38 square kilometer, and Halliday Island 5.85 square kilometer is known as the wildlife sanctuaries, which fall under Sunderban Tiger Reserve. Now, to know the forest and to know the Sunderban, the river, creeks, etc., we should know. And one should know about the rivers. And without rivers, without creeks, without canals, Sundarban is incomplete. So, what are the river system of Sundarbans of India? Sundarbans lie actually on the Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, and the river system includes several distributaries of the river Hooghly. The six major rivers which meet the Bay of Bengal are Muriganga. Its alternate name is Varto, and Saptamukhi, Thakuram, Matla, Gosaba, and Raibangal. Raibangal is also known as Herobhanga or Horinbari. And Ichamoti, Chilla, Bidda, Raimongol, Gomor, and Panchmukhi are the important small rivers or minor rivers. There are also a number of heavily choked up or silted up river or canal, namely Gugudanga, Gang, it's known in Bengal, it is known as Gang, Gugudanga Gang, or Patania Duania River, then Devrakhal, Devgra Khal, then Terobaki River, Durgadwani River, etc. The major rivers are interconnected with one another through numerous creeks, which is in Bengali known as the Khadi, canal, khal, and small rivers, creating 110 islands, of which 56 islands are still part of Sundarban's mangrove ecosystem, and the rest have been cleared. I have already told you that regarding the present uh, number of islands, there is some different of opinions. Someone is telling it is 104, someone is telling it's 110, etc. Anyway, in this Sundarban Tiger Reserve, there are 15 blocks and 17 compartments, interspread several rivers, creeks, and canals. Due to new tectonic movement of the course of the river Ganga, subsequently changed from Tamluk of East Midnapur district on west to the river Podda to east. Every year, as you know, few persons become the victim of Royal Bengal tiger, while they enter court zone. They means the persons who catch fish, who are going to catch prawn, who are going to catch crabs or collecting honey, etc. etc. And in Bengali, honey collectors are known as the mole. So some people are also there who went to Sunderban for collecting woods, and they entered the rivers, kharis, canals, etc. legally and illegally. Legally means they have to get permission from the Sundarban Tiger Reserve forest official or West Bengal government's forest department. Uh, so this is about the rivers which are interconnected to one another, and you should know that uh, the means of traveling is through boats, either it is wooden boats or mechanized boats. Now you should know something about the flora and fauna of the Sundarban. And now the total number of mangrove species and the total area under the mangrove coverage have been analyzed, estimated, and published by different experts, scientists differently. Namely, Chapman, 1970, has reported the world mangroves as 90 species, while UNESCO, 1986, has given the figure that is 68 true mangroves of the world, and the Tomlinson, the great scientist in this field, he has also considered 68 true mangroves of the world. Sorry, as 48 true mangroves of the world, and 40 are true mangroves, and 8 species distributed in the New World tropics. My guide here, Noskor, and is one of the PhD student, Rothin Mondal. They have identified 48, sorry, 63 mangroves, and they have classified those uh, where they have classified 30 as major mangroves, and which grow in the anaerobic soil inundated twice a day and can tolerate high salinity. 22 identified as mangrove associate, and the flora grow in the fringe area of the mangrove swamps, get inundated once to 5 times per fortnight during spring tide, and also found in mesophytic habitat, and the rest 12 are back Mongols or back mangroves. These flora grow in mangrove adjacent area and get inundated high spring tide during rainy season. The floral components comprise trees, shrubs, herbs, ferns, epiphytes, fungi, lichens, algae, etc. Animals or the faunal components comprise mammals, birds, reptiles, shrimps, crabs, mollusks, insects, amphibian, innumerable microorganisms. Das and Nondi, 1999, has reported a total about 1,434 numbers of animal species, of which 989 species of invertebrates and one species belong to hemichordate, and the rest for 445 species are vertebrates. Royal Bengal tiger, its scientific name is Panthera tigris, and the crocodile, Crocodilus porosus. These two animals are the real watchdog of Sunderban mangroves. This is no other than my guide, Dr. Kumud Nandan Raskar, has told me. Now, if you see that there are 200 to 250 bird species, local birds, of course, and 50 migratory birds. And those are found in Sundarbans. Like Astria, Sundarban Tiger Reserve, there is also, that means which is has been declared since 1973. There is also crocodile project, 32 hectares of area in the Bhagavutpur region. Uh, this crocodile project also started since 1973. Now we should mention few mangrove plants, and which are the dominant plants found in mangrove forest, or the mangrove forest of Sundarban, Indian part of Sundarbans. Those plants also found in the Bangladesh part. One should know that what is the difference between the mangroves of the Bangladesh and our Indian parts mangroves. Bangladesh mangroves, I have already told you that 62% area coverage area is of Bangladesh mangroves. Yeah, luxuriant growth is there, and the trees, mangrove trees, are larger in size. But in uh, Indian part of mangroves, that is of Sundarbans, that is West Bengal mangroves, those are medium height plants, not larger than Bangladesh, but very much uh, uh, stunted growth of mangroves is seen here in our part. Now, the major mangroves, among the major mangroves, I have already told you, Sundari's Heritaria, Fomis, Goran, Seriops, Decandra, Calbine, Avicennia alba, Avicennia officinalis, Pierabine, Avicennia marina, Keura, Sonoraceae apetella, then Kakra. Kakra is Bruguiera zimnoriza, Gorgon, Rhizophora micronata, Gewa, Exocaria agalocha, Kolsi. You should know that what is Kolsi. Kolsi is very important tree in Sundarbans. We are habituated to take or intake honey. The Sundarban honey is prepared from the flowers of this Kolsi. The Kolsi scientific name is Agiceros corniculata, etc. Now, you should know few facts about Sundarbans. Now, what are the problems or what are the perils and progress of Sundarbans? Or I have already told you that unfettered exploitation, unfettered exploitation of Sundarban. Uh, since early 300 years, Sundarban has been exploited. First of all, that is the exploitation started through cutting trees, that is deforestation, that is I have already told you, that is reclaiming of lands, reclamation of land is the major, and then uh, the forest has been cleared. For which forest has been cleared? Actually, there is a population explosion. Population explosion means uh, every time since 300 years, uh, peoples are migrating. Someone from Bangladesh to Sundarban areas of our India, someone from East Midnapur, and Sundarban's original uh, population earlier, if you see that in 1772 was 2 lakh 96,045, and nowadays it has reached 4.5 million. So every day people are just crossing the river from Bangladesh and reaching here, or crossing the river from Haldia to here in our Sundarban area, and gradually swelling the population. And these I have already I told you that 4.5 million, that means 45 lakhs population uh, has been counted in the year 2011 as per census. But today it has naturally increased further, and this is the major problem, you can say, that exploitation of mangrove forest due to exploitation of population. Second point is reclamation of forest, that is the deforestation started. Deforestation for which? Deforestation for agriculture purposes, habitation purposes, and naturally they have to sustain. And how they will sustain? They will sustain by means of uh, practicing agriculture, and for agriculture they have to clear forest. So this is another point. Then the poaching, poaching of animals, particularly poaching of tiger. Do you know that tigers? I don't know. Someone is telling that tongue of the tiger is very precious, or the skin of the tiger. This is also precious, and it is costly, and it is being sold in high price. So that's why poaching of tiger is done. Not only that, poaching of deer, poaching of wild boar, poaching of monkeys, marine turtles, and other animals. So this is also a major problem. Then why major problem? The ecosystem of Sundarbans actually uh, recycling started with the man, animals. forest and a cohabitation, and they cohabit each other, and they actually uh, মানে, that is the ecosystem is dependent on everybody is dependent on uh, someone is dependent on forest, someone is dependent on flowers, someone is dependent on wood, someone is dependent on uh, flowers, someone is dependent on fishes, etc. This is a cycle. This life cycle, that is the biological cycle, is going on, and it is being hampered if the population being decreased, population of a particular species. That's why poaching of animal, if poaching of animal is done uh, of particular animals, then the ecosystem will be hampered. So that is the another point. Then comes the smuggling, smuggling of forest wood. Uh, Sundarban woods, that the trees of the Sundarban already I told you that Goran, Ginwa, Sundari, uh, then your uh, Gorgon, etc. All those plants has been cut, and wood has been used for different purposes, and that is being smuggled from Sundarban areas. So this is another point. Uh, then come the reclamation of land through wounding area, erection of earthen dikes have hampered free flowing of tidal water and interfered in the drainage systems, resulting in the siltation and rise of creek beds. So this is another point, and you should know that the biotic and abiotic factors actually uh, giving the Sundarban tremendous threat. Like Sundarban is under tremendous threat by biotic and abiotic factors. Abiotic factors means abiotic, I mean, so many abiotic factors are there. Among them, only that is the cyclone or the storms are the major abiotic factors. And you have already known that Ayla of 2009, then Amphan of 2001, sorry, 2021, and years of 2022, uh, which actually hampered the vegetation, also the uh, these earthen dikes where people used to build up this bond for preventing the water tide, a tide of water. So that is another point, and it is about 3,500 square kilometer area of bonding areas. That is the earthen embankments. This question is coming whether earthen embankments is useful for us, or uh, concrete embankments is required. Experts are saying, or government, from the government part, that concrete embankments can prevent the tidal water which enter into the villages. Uh, but nowadays, scientific, if you see the scientifically, if you see that there is earthen embankments is scientifically possible, and in front of the earthen embankments, and just behind it, if there is the uh, plantation of mangrove trees, then the Sundarban people can be saved. As because the cyclone is, people of Sundarban is seriously and severely affected by the cyclone. But the Calcuttan people or the other people of Calcutta, adjacent Calcutta, they don't have such stress as because the Sundarban mangrove area actually work as a funnel system. And when the depression started in the Sundarban area, there's depression gradually it uh, diminishes, and the pressure actually lessening, and then it reaches the Calcutta or adjacent areas where the storm has been normalized. So people of Calcutta or adjacent area has not to suffer from the cyclone of Amphan, whether it is Amphan, and less they are less suffered. So this is another point. Now there is a prawn cultivation, and prawn cultivation is done through breaking of these river banks. So this is whenever natural calamities occur. So that time the flood, uh, that means the flood water get enter into the village through those uh, broken parts where the prawn has been cultivated. Cultivation of prawn is done, and then the reclamation of forest land, mangrove vegetation has been cleared, causing maximum damage to the ecosystem. Approximately 56 of low-lying conglomeration of islands and interconnected tidal creeks and marshes of 2000 kilometers of interconnected waterways, creeks and rivers. Transport through mechanized boats. In locally, it is known as the butbutis. So whenever the local people use butbutis, or the travelers use the butbutis, or the steamer, or the launches, naturally the pollution takes place, and if there is pollution, then the animals which inhabiting the water, remaining in the water, fish or other animals, they are actually destroyed. The destruction of those ecosystem has been done. So there should be some limit. People should be restricted from traveling purposes. Those who remain in the remote areas of Sundarban, they should use butbutis, that is a limited uh, use, or wooden boats. So that is also another point in this uh, unfettered exploitation of Sundarbans. And if you see that, you can ask me, then what are the solution, or what are the modern management to save the Sundarbans? I will uh, finish my lecture just telling about few words about the modern management of Sundarban ecosystem. Sundarban mangrove forest should be preserved from various hazards and interferences such as anthropogenic pressures, denudation, deforestation, erosion, and reclamation of land, with promulgation of strict laws and man management. There is biodiversity law, but nobody which has been promulgated since 2002, but nobody abide by this law. to stress more on sustainable growth and development of Sundarban Biosphere Reserve. Third one is the effective preservation of faunal and floral association to be assured in the reserve from poaching and external influences for preservation of biodiversity of this unique ecosystem. Fourth one, elimination of exploitation of resources to ensure maintenance of natural ecosystem of plant community within the Sundarban Biosphere Reserve by way of gradual reduction in the dependence of the people living in the fringe area of the forest and natural resources. Fifth one, proper conservation strategy should be formulated to develop monitoring capability to stop poaching of tiger and its co-predator. Lesser eat, lesser cats, prey species, and their habitat, including all endangered as well as rare species and their habitat for assessing their conservation status. To avail support and collaboration from voluntary organizations, associations in awareness building and participatory management to evolve effective conservation strategy. Next one, 8. To develop research facility and capability for biological and sociological sciences with the objective to support management on the effective conservation of forest. Ninth, to adopt Indo-Bangladesh collaboration on research management. We should know that UNDP or UNESCO now are sanctioning funds for joint collaboration research of Bangladesh and India. And if we maintain all those, and if we consider all those points which I discuss here, and then sustainable growth for mangrove ecosystem and the modern management system can be done. So this is for today's lecture.